first time we were in Chile, it felt very exotic somehow, because I mean we were there in 2013 and everything was very low budget, you know, and the venue was kind of half sketchy, even though it was an absolutely crazy show. It felt very exotic. The next time it was like a better venue and stuff like that, so it felt a little bit, you know, more towards Europe. And the last time we played there, it was like perfectly fine. It felt like being in Europe. I don't know if it has developed in that direction, like between the 10 years that passed from when we came the first time to we came the last time, but I like now I had a great impression of and I felt like home in Santiago. It's like I think we all were when we left South America. We were like, oh man, we could live here.
Yeah.
You felt at home at some, you know, at some point, or and at the same time, you know, people are very friendly. There's good food. Everybody takes care of you. Everybody's smiling at you, you know. So I have a very good impression. I have a lot of friends in Chile and a lot of and around there. So it's always cool to go there and see all, you know, all the friends that we made during our trips there.
You were only in Santiago, or do you know other places in Chile?
Well, I know other places, but we played in Valparaiso.
Okay.
Also, 1 year. I know it was a kind of small show, but it was a very nice city. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, but you don't know the places like the desert or the very far south in Chile, which is really great.
Yeah, no, I never been there, but I know both the desert and the Patagonia district and everything that is down there. But just from watching videos and seeing pictures and talking to people, but I've never missed it.
Okay.
So far. Yeah, it's probably the most difficult audience in the entire world, like playing like orthodox metal, because everybody's so everybody's so passionate about the music, and everybody has just such a strong idea about what the music should sound like. So it's a thin line. But eventually, I just care about, you know, I just care about my own idea about what it is, and I don't try to focus too much on what other people think I should sound like, because if I would focus on what other people would want me to sound like, then it would be the most like predictable band in world history, you know. Nothing would stand out. But as a musician, I see myself as a musician rather than a, you know, than a metalhead. At least when it comes to composing, I think you write good songs with contrast, and you gotta have to have like to make a part of a song feel like very fast. You also have to have a slow part, and to make the part feel, you know, melodic. You also have to have a more static part. Everything's like I perceive music is just a mixture of all the different elements that you have at hand when you're composing music. So that's why I think our later albums, when we developed more dynamics within the music, then the fast songs becomes more fast and the slow song becomes more slow, and you know, you all work with those type of dynamics, and also within the songs. That's why I think that, you know, I develop as a songwriter all the time with having all this in mind. And if somebody thinks that it's not orthodox enough, then I say fuck off, because, you know, I can motivate this in every sort of way, you know. All the bands, Iron Maiden, Dio, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, all those bands had everything from the cheesiest ballads to the heaviest songs, and that's somewhere where I aim to have our sound. And if you're complaining on that, then you don't know your history.
Talking about this kind of old school metal, do you see some kind of evolution in the values in heavy metal? I mean, having an old school sound nowadays, does it mean to have an old school mind too?
Yeah, well, I am an old school mind. I really am. I'm born in the 80s, and I'm born with the ideals that I'm grown up with in the 80s. So yeah, I would say that I have an old school mind too, at least when it comes to culture. I don't like much new culture at all. I think that, you know, the culture that we see around us today is for most part, absolutely, I can't relate to it even
Mm-hmm.
even in anything. But I can embrace other things from our present day, such as technology and stuff like. And also, when it comes to music, I have like all the answers from like the history of music that I can learn from, instead of and I use that to my advantage.
Mm-hmm. What happens with this very, manowar macho thing, that was kind of the mentality, in heavy metal in the 80s, I guess.
Well, I, I still try to at some point, but it's a bit harder to carry that, I think. I mean, the men were such bands that were also always balancing between cliche
Yeah.
and seriousness. And I always saw my own music as way more serious. I don't want to go close to that cliche.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, it's like Venom,
Yeah.
or these bands that are more like
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah, I really don't want to come out as a parody band, and I have a lot of integrity as a musician, so I wouldn't take it that far. But I appreciate when other people do it sometimes.
Mm.
I think that we, as far as I see it, I think it's very, for me, two things are very important. First of all, it's the energy, and secondly, it's the simplicity. I want songs that that get stuck on your head, and that a full crowd can sing without being stupid. So somehow catchy songs that a lot of people can sing, but at the same time contains a lot of energy, and that's like the two key elements, I think, in our music.
Mm-hmm. I read that your upbringing, your family, you and your brother, you had a very musical upbringing, as I understand.
Yeah.
So how do you keep this reenchanting yourself with music? Because sometimes I think it's kind of a hard way too. It's not easy.
I can say that what really boosts my creativity is to always discover new music, and whatever it's about. I mean, I don't necessarily have to get inspired by music that sounds similar to what I do. I get inspired by all music, even music that I don't like. If I hear something, on the radio, for example, when I'm out and just doing something, I can hear a phrase of a melody and in a bad song, but that phrase is good. I take that towards me,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily, try to copy or try to get inspired by only similar music, but everything. And to always discover new music, whatever it's about, if it's classical music or if it's whatever, that keeps me motivated to continue writing music and to find new ways of expressing myself within the concept of the band. Unfortunately, I haven't listened much to music lately. I had like a period when I've been on tour for 4 weeks, and then I don't really listen to much music. There's so much music around me anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a balance between melodic rock, classical music, folk music, jazz fusion, and classic heavy metal.
So when do you think Enforcer is coming back to Chile? Because the last time you were here, Nostalgia hadn't been launched yet, I think.
No. I hope we can get back next year, but it depends. We had an offer of going next year with another band, but I saw that they announced the shows already without asking us, so it might be. I hope that there's still a chance that we can make it next year. Otherwise, it will be whenever we have time. Maybe, yeah. Since we were just there, it's not like we prioritize that, highest at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But within a few years, I think that South America as a market has expanded and become much more relevant than before, and it's also it's a good market, and a market to take like just as serious as the market in USA and the market in Europe.
Black Sabbath, with Ozzy, with Dio, or with Tony Martin?
With Dio, without any doubt.
Randy Rhoads or Eddie Van Halen?
Van Halen.
Metallica or Megadeth?
Metallica.
Iron Maiden or Judas Priest?
Judas Priest.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Fright Night or Lost Boys?
Huh?
Fright Night or Lost Boys, the movies?
I have no relationship to any of them.
You haven't seen them?
Yeah, maybe in passing.
You have.
But yeah.
You like 80s?
Yeah,
you have to see them.
Yeah. Okay, it's a homework for me. Homework for me.
John Bon Jovi or Richie Sambora?
Well, I just like the songs. I don't know who wrote them.
Okay.
For me, it's about the songs. So I guess in that, and wasn't it like Desmond Child who wrote the majority of the songs?
Desmond
anyway,
Child.
So I said Desmond Child.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Desmond Child or Matt Lange then?
Oh, Matt Lang.
Okay.
That's my favorite producer.
Matt Lange or Martin Birch?
Matt Lang.
Oh, okay. I see. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Cool. 80s.
Well, everything.
90s.
Darkness.
Okay. Kurt Cobain.
I don't know, kind of like him. His character, yeah.
Okay. Hip hop.
Started out as a cool thing, now it's the most terrible culture
I agree, totally.
ever saw.
I agree. Ghost.
Yeah. One of the best bands in the world at the moment.
Dimebag Darrell.
No comment.
ABBA.
Great band.
Spotify.
I like it. I think it's I mean, a lot of people complain about how, but it's it's not Spotify's fault that people have changed their listening behavior. So for me, it's just the product of how people listen to music, not the opposite. So I think it's a good platform.
TikTok.
I have no relationship to it. But that's for kids, isn't it?
Rob Halford.
God.
Taylor Swift.
No idea who that is. I just heard the name, but
Really? Chile.
I'm gonna move to Chile one day.
Okay.
I'm literally gonna. When Europe is like going under, that's my retreat.